What's up, family? I often get this question asked a lot, from comments to DMs or whatnot. And the main question that everybody asks is, what kind of vehicle should I start on the platform with? Should I go luxury or should I start with an economy vehicle? I decided, instead of responding to each comment because it was just slightly complicated, I decided to bring a full video to hopefully instill some kind of knowledge from my experience to anybody who may be curious. Because at the end of the day, there's honestly no real answer, but I decided to take it upon myself to break it down, a full bullet points to break it down for anybody who may be watching, who may be curious, to kind of see what works out for them. Because that's all it boils down to at the end of the day, is what do you fit in? What works best for you? Who don't you mind renting your car? What kind of crowd demographic do you want in your vehicle to start up with initially? Because after the startup, you kind of change your mind and outlook on the way you view the business and what you think may work out. Because initially you might go with what works out for you, but then eventually you might go with what works out for the money. For today's purpose of the video, I have a few bullet points that I want to get out. And first things first that I want us to start with is the upfront cost and investment. At the end of the day, there is some kind of cost and investment. With the luxury vehicle, obviously it's higher car payments, higher car insurance. With an economy car, it's relatively lower. But at the end of the day, it balances itself out when it comes to the daily rentals, the daily rate rentals. Because for an luxury car, obviously you're charging higher, and for economy car, you're charging relatively lower. With the luxury car, you might have less consistent bookings than an economy car, just because economy just portrays to everybody can rent an economy car, rich, average, or broke. With the luxury car, it still balances itself out, because when it does get rented out, they pay premium pricing. So in this case, you have a vehicle that's higher to maintain, that costs a little bit more to maintain, whereas you have another one that costs relatively lower to maintain, and obviously demand is probably higher. As a luxury vehicle, that demand is still high, obviously a little bit higher to maintain, but then you get to charge premium pricing. And if it's your daily vehicle as well, where you also working or doing other things on the side as well as that, and it's a luxury vehicle, then that might work perfectly for you. But then if you have a vehicle that's okay, like this is my business car, then this is a good vehicle that can go out any time of the week, any day, anytime. Doesn't matter, because it's only for work purposes. Bullet point 2, target renter demographics. This is a big one too, because it kind of differentiates the difference of people in which you'll be renting to. Now, for a luxury car, at the end of the day, you might hit a target of people like, okay, I'm going on a special occasions, birthday experience, first time driving experience. If you're having a Tesla, a G-Wagon or whatnot, it's like, okay, I want to get to a feeling of how this works out. I want to use it for a special occasion, date night. I want to shoot a music video. So those will typically get rented out for those kind of purposes. And we all know those kind of purposes don't come in every day. Somebody may not rent out a G-Wagon on a Monday or a Tuesday. You see what I'm saying? Whereas something like an economy car, families can use it to travel. It could be a vacation car. It could be a long-term rental car for travel nurses who come into town. They might need it for 2 weeks. They might even need it for a month, almost like Airbnbs, right? They might need it for a month. You get an Airbnb, now you need a car to drive. You have a chance of long-term renters in a situation like that, as opposed to a luxury car who might just come for the experience or for a special occasion, not necessarily to rent out for 30 days straight. Speaking of that takes me to bullet point number 3, risk and damage potential. Obviously, with a vehicle that's a luxury car, now the risk and damage potential is a little bit higher, as well as cost out repairs. Obviously, it's going to cost more than an economy car if there is damage. But then there's a higher risk of curb rash, for example, like a Tesla, or, scratches or scrapes, because the individuals renting this kind of vehicle, like I said, special occasions, video shoots, showing off. If you're in a bigger city, somewhere like Atlanta, it's a whole lot of showing off that goes on. Now, that also calls for reckless and careless driving and observation. So there's a higher chance of your vehicle getting some kind of damage. Even it doesn't have to be the craziest damage, but some kind of little damage. And even little damage on luxury cars still cost a lot. Still a cost out repair, as opposed to an economy car, less potential, because people driving those tend to technically be a little bit more responsible in that regard. Nobody is using economy car necessarily for a video shoot. Most people are trying to make it to and from work or their daily day-to-day activities. But then again, speaking of damage, which is another reason why it's so hard for me to answer the question on what's the best vehicle to start up with. Like it's just so tough, because damages can also become a huge payout on the platform. You know what I'm saying? People having to pay for repairs and charging OEM parts, factory parts, where you could take it to places that may not necessarily need factory repairs. So damages can eventually become huge payouts, but that's a video for another day. Next bullet point, mileage and usage. When it comes to this, obviously more miles are being driven on a economy car, because at the end of the day, you know, it's more for long-term renters as well as individuals who might be going on road trips. The vehicle that we're sitting in right now is economy vehicle. This is a Nissan Rogue 2022. March is like one of the busiest months for the vehicle. Honestly, all months are busy, but March tends to become a huge busy month because individuals taking trips for spring break. Also during holiday season like Thanksgiving or Christmas, the same thing. Individuals would rather take this on a vacation trip than the Tesla that I have, for example. So there's more miles being drove on a economy car. Obviously, we know the more miles I guess driven, it potentially reduces the resale value or the value of the car in general. That's a disadvantage right there when it comes to economy vehicles, is that okay, like the miles are obviously being more, whereas a luxury car, bro, you might even get a lot of one-day renters, to be very honest, just because people, it's a test car sometimes, so not a lot of miles are getting drove on a vehicle like that. So that's a balance as well. Cleaning and turnaround. Okay, so cleaning with this, so with a situation like this, when you're renting out a luxury car, you're renting out to people who want the best, like the best of the best, because obviously they're paying for it, right? They're paying premium pricing. So with premium pricing, they need premium experience. So in a situation like this, renters expect the car looking at the best shape possible. And obviously you need to spend more time cleaning and worrying about stuff like that. Pretty much you need to cater to those kind of individuals in a situation like that. Like nobody's gonna pay premium pricing and want a economy experience. As opposed to an economy car, you spend less time worrying about that situation because most people don't really care about that. They're not really, it's not really something that they really need to show off on or anything. They just want to drive the car, go about their day, and return. They're not picky about having the vehicle premium looking. Next bullet point is booking consistency. With the luxury car, honestly, it may sit longer, especially if it's priced too high. It might sit longer because not every day somebody wants a luxury car, and that it sucks when you have a luxury car on the vehicle and you have to charge economy pricing because it's sitting so long. So now you want to reduce the rate so that you can get a booking. Whereas an economy car, obviously, it's being rented out all year round. There's actually never really a time period where it's kind of like dead in a way. You know, you don't have to worry about fluctuating prices too much. You kind of just have to have a steady, balanced pricing. But then obviously when the luxury car does get booked, you have a high payday, a big payday, as opposed to an economy car, which is just steady. Next bullet point is reviews and customers' expectations. This right here is a big one in the difference between both vehicles. For a luxury car, customers expect premium experience, 5-star experience, full charge if it's an EV car, full gas if it's a non-EV car, the feeling, everything. I mean, communication. They want everything at a 5-star experience. Whereas economy cars, they're less picky. They're less to care about that. You know, if you brought the vehicle on half gas, it may not be a problem. But for a luxury person, it may be a problem that the vehicle is not fully foiled up prior to giving it to them, because the expectations when you pay a lot of money, even if you have a lot of money, the expectations when you spend a lot of money from individuals is just so much higher than when you spend less. You know, even as a human being, even as yourself, if you went to a hotel and you paid premium pricing, you want everything premium, because at the back of your head, like, I paid a lot of money, even if you can afford it. Even if you can afford it, it's like, I paid a lot of money for this. I expect this and that to never be a problem. Whereas if you went to somewhere you pay less, you're like, okay, it's fine. I'll go downstairs and get it myself, or whatnot. You know, it's just a slight difference when it comes to that. So if you're somebody who that catering to that level is going to be tedious, is something that you may not be able to do, then obviously you know what route to go with. Flexibility and market conditions. Luxury cars tend to perform better in high-end or high income areas usually, or travel seasons or whatnot, you know what I'm saying, or like holiday seasons. Whereas an economy car, recession proof, it's always going to be affordable and accessible to individuals. So at the end of the day, to cap off the video, it really just depends on you, where you're at, and what you feel comfortable with. I really think it depends on your comfortability level, as in finances, and how you feel to cater to individuals. Or if you're somebody that's lucky enough to have the balance of both, then I strongly suggest that, because it really balances it out and just helps with earnings. But for the purpose of this video, this is a video of what you should start off with, in a way, not necessarily, you know, how you should run it. Starting off, it honestly just depends on you. It really just depends on you. It depends on what works best for you. You have to kind of think of those bullet points and think of what do you feel like you can lean more towards on, what benefits you more, and just your overall circumstances. That wraps it up for this video. I truly appreciate it if you stay to the end. Make sure you hit that like button. Definitely subscribe to the channel. Many more bangers on the way. Definitely stay in tune with my journey. I appreciate everybody that's been watching, that's been following, that's been subscribing. I'm out. Let me know if you have any questions. Drop them in the comment section below. Follow my Instagram. Also, I'm offering one-on-one mentorship right now. If you need experience or assistance with getting started on the platform, the right routes to go, how to increase pace and accelerate your earnings without necessarily mistakes as a first-time beginner, DM me on Instagram at Certified Battlers, or just leave in the comment section Turo, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every single one of you.